welcome to Econo Chat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. I'm your hostess, Elsa Vitivignani, and today we are looking at fuel prices, petrol and diesel prices going down, but also looking at royalties and taxes, which is influenced by, of course, medium-term outlook as well. So we're going to get into detail with all that. But before we get into detail with the royalties and taxes and the medium-term outlook, let's talk about fuel prices.
Elsaby, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to all our listeners out there as well.
I was waiting for you to say hi to our listeners.
I'm so used to having this conversation with you that I forget to greet sometimes.
Okay. Now, listen, the fuel price is very relevant now because at the beginning of June, fuel has gone down for the first time in months. So I'm under correction if I say for a year, but it's a very long time since we last had the reduction in fuel price. It either remained the same or it was increased incrementally. Now, this immediately begs the question, when we don't see any significant changes in the market, why is there now this nice surprise of petrol coming down 30 cents a litre and diesel coming down 70 cents a litre? And by the way, I'm driving a diesel car, so I'm smiling. My benefit is more than double that of the owners of petrol cars.
Yeah.
But what we need to understand first is that the price of crude oil in the international fuel markets is an option. Now, wow. Immediately you would look at me and say, whose option is it? But it is what we call a futures option in economic terms, in trade. So what it means is that if you are the manager or the owner of a refinery or several refineries, as is the case in Europe and the United States and in China, then you need to buy the crude in advance. But the crude market is of such a nature that there's not very significant storage capacity worldwide for crude. As oil gets produced, as it gets extracted from the oil wells, the oil fields, it is used within the next 10 or 14 days. So actually it goes into the channel where it is refined and all the various products are extracted. But for now, we're focusing on petrol and diesel, and otherwise transport fuel.
Of course, yeah.
You know that there's more than 1,000 different products that is extracted from crude oil. Amongst others, nylon. So if you buy a nylon garment, 3-4 months earlier, that was oil. And fertilizer and a whole host of things.
Yeah.
But for our discussion today, we're looking at the impact that it has on your pocket, the money that you have to pay to get somewhere. And because refineries buy a futures option, it's usually 3 months in advance, it means that it is not determined by what the conditions in the market are today. It is determined by buyers or traders, speculators, on the perceived or the anticipated conditions in the energy market 3 months from now. So can you immediately see the conundrum that it creates? If you just think back the last 3 months, what has gone on in the oil market, then you will realize it's basically impossible to determine what the price of crude is going to be in 3 months from now. But that's the way the market works. If you want enough crude for your refinery 3 months from now, you have to buy it today.
Yeah.
Do you understand that principle of an option? You have to buy the option to take delivery of crude at a certain price determined today, but anticipated or projected to what it would have cost 3 months from now. It's a bit of a tricky thing to get your mind around. And the reason is simply because of the fact that, this is what I said earlier, there's no huge storage capacity. There is some. But you know that the crude on the high seas is about 5 times more than crude in storage at a refinery or anywhere on the mainland. So what it shows you is that these huge tanker ships, they, at any given point, if you put all of them together, there are more crude oil in them than what there are in storage at refineries waiting to be processed. So this is the thing that we need to take to consider, is that it's a dynamic market.
Yeah.
But it's a futures market.
It is.
You have to play your cards.
Definitely. And on that one, let's quickly go for a short break. Once we come back, we will get into the royalties and taxes.